Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a divorce valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri. I have the pleasure of discussing fraud in times of divorce and following the money trail with Jason Pierce, a forensic accountant in Boston, Massachusetts. Then we talked about looking at some of the bank statements. And so if we're looking at the bank statements, be them personal, because I'll get personal and business bank statements and business credit cards. So if we're looking through the bank statements when we're doing like an income and expense analysis for the purpose of maintenance and child support, what are we looking for, again, as either red flags or maybe just an area that we have to ask more questions?
For sure. So yeah, one of the things that's key in a forensic investigation is to make sure that you have your hands around the complete population. So getting the personal and getting the business bank statements and credit cards, like that's so important. And then the first thing you want to do is reconcile the transfers. So if you could see that they're taking distributions or taking money either from a loan, shareholder loans, due froms, whatever. There may be a couple other entities involved, but if you could see that linkage between all the known accounts and that the transfers out reconcile to the transfers in, okay, cool. Step one, check. But a lot of times that's where you find the missing accounts. And I had this all the time. I actually had a trial where I had a husband who was pro se, basically zero out all the accounts. And I'm like, well, okay, Your Honor, this is where the trail goes cold. But we did find 9 other different bank accounts or investment accounts too. And then he was a little like off because he's like, well, did you find this one? No. Did you find this one? So he asked me, did you find these 4 other accounts? I'm like, dude, you're crazy. But okay. It's like, yes, you really got me there. Like, glad that's on evidence. So understanding the flow is so important. Then I'd say, the next thing is just to like read it like a book. Some of these pages or statements are 20 pages long. Okay, well, it's not that you need to read individual line items, although that might help, but just visually, what does it look like? And Chris said it the last podcast. What's the definition of forensic accounting? It's the art and science of investigating people and money. So just visually, you can get some ideas of what makes these people tick just by like, oh, every Wednesday they go to the ATM and take out $800. I had this case that in a 6-month period, the husband took out, like some days it would be $800, some day it'd be $3,000, but he amassed $1.1 million of just cash. And I figured it out. It's 2 10-foot stacks of $20 bills, cash.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, right? So, but again, like just understanding the bank statements. Oh, here's another $800. Oh, it's another $800. So you want to just be able to spot the anomalies. So in auditing, you're looking for, does things check? Does the date reconcile to the general ledger? Does the amount and the payee, et cetera? Whereas in forensics, we're looking for those anomalies or what's different. And so what I'd say a bigger trend in the last couple of years, something that's a hobby of mine, is looking for cryptocurrency withdrawals. So it could just be this little like string of numbers that has a BTC or ETH in there, and like, wow, that just disappeared. Guess that was a debit. They bought a bunch of juice at the coffee store or whatever. Or it could be that they're buying cryptocurrency and that there's a whole nother account or investment pile sitting out there that nobody knows about because nobody else knows how to like operate a computer.
Well, and I think that a lot of times in divorce, the one spouse will say, oh, that other person is so crafty, like everybody loves them. But they know how to get it over on, and you'll never find it or you won't see it. The reality is there's usually a trail, unless there's cash coming in that can just kind of be away from not even come through the bank. Sure, that's right. But there's not a lot of situations where there's heavy cash coming in anymore, legally, like serious heavy cash. Well, yeah, legally. But what we're looking for also is like round numbers, trying to see transactions to go into other banks like you talked about. or checks written to people that we don't necessarily know, things like that, income coming in that comes in quick and then leaves just as quick. Half the time I'm telling the clients to start taking a look at your own bank statement.